Okay, that took me a minute. You're getting old when like the technology, you have to figure it out. Okay, Don Garrett, you're supposed to be around here. Tell me if you can see me. Goodness, I hope you can. Oh, it was like, I think this is supposed to work. And I was really struggling with it. Oh my goodness. Welcome, welcome. I am Pam Barnhill. And if you have stumbled upon this, you're like, who is this crazy lady? I'm just a homeschool mom, y'all. I'm just a homeschool mom trying to figure it out. And that's what we homeschoolers do. I will say that is the cool thing, right? Is like we homeschoolers learn how to figure things out. We learn how to do things. And that was what I did just a few minutes ago because, oh, thank you. Thank you, Dawn. Oh, I'm sorry you couldn't find me. We're going to get better at this. You know what? We're just going to improve every single week because that's also what homeschoolers do. So, number one, we figure it out. And number two, we improve week after week. And that is what we are going to do. We're going to figure it out and we are going to improve. So, welcome. My name is Pam Barnhill. I have a podcast. I do know how to do that. I've been doing that for 10 years. Multiple podcasts, like you can go back and find some of my old ones out there. But right now it is the Homeschool Better Together podcast. And I have a website at pambarnhill.com. And we talk about homeschooling together as a family because that is a really efficient way to homeschool. And it's a really cool way to homeschool. So one of the things that Dawn and I used to do, Dawn is my sidekick, Dawn Garrett. She's going to be in the chat. We used to go live on Facebook every single week for like 5 years. We missed maybe 7 weeks in 5 years. I don't know. We would take Christmas off. I think we even did like Thanksgiving week. And Dawn's like, you know what would be fun this summer if we started going live again? We decided to do it on YouTube. So yay. So glad that we're doing that, and so glad that that you're here with us. So, what I want to talk about today is a feeling that sometimes we have as homeschool moms, and it's like, why am I the only one who seems to care if anything gets done around here? If you've ever thought that, this episode is for you. Now, there's probably a very good chance you've thought that. I know I have thought it many times. I'm the only one who cares that anything's getting done, right? Maybe you've got a kid who dawdles while they're doing math. Maybe you have kids who mysteriously forget assignments. Again, if you've ever had seniors, let me tell you, that is something that definitely happens. Oh, I forgot to do that. Maybe you've even caught yourself saying the words, why can't you just do this by yourself? Oh, yeah, been there, done that too. You've said those words more times than you can count. Well, that's what I want to talk about today. Doing it all yourself is not this badge of honor, right? We don't want to chase this version of homeschool where we're doing it all ourselves, and because it's just not going to be creating the peace that we want. We're craving this peace in our homeschool, and the thought that we have to do it ourselves, or the idea that kids aren't pulling their weight, could be stealing the peace that you're craving in your homeschool. Because homeschool moms hold it together by like holding on to everything. And a lot of times they hold on to a lot of it in their brain. Even those of us who consider ourselves planners, like my new thing, y'all, is I have this little notebook. It used to be an old bullet journal, right? You can see my little fancy bullet journal pages. I do different planning things from time to time. I don't consider it a failure to switch to new planning systems. I just try something out for a while and then I try something out different. But a few weeks ago, I got this and I put it on my desk, and now I just write in it all the time. And I'm constantly writing in it and flipping back and forth. And the whole reason I'm doing that is because I don't want to hold everything in my head. And even as somebody who considers herself a planner, who creates a plan, like I open up my little Asana dashboard every week and I put things on different days that I'm going to do, but I still have so much in my head that I need a place to keep. And that's what we do as homeschool moms. You're the one who's remembering like who needs what lesson. You're the one who's remembering where the books are. You're the one who's like thinking about what the toddler just put in his mouth and how to keep peace between two kids who suddenly hate each other over a pencil, right? But under all of that, there's this question that we rarely say out loud. because we don't want to answer the question. And that's like, why does this whole thing fall apart if I just stop micromanaging for 2 seconds, right? Why does it have to fall apart if I am not here? And that's not failure. It's a signal. It's a sign to you that you've outgrown a homeschool plan that depends on you doing everything. So this happened for me a couple years ago, maybe well, I guess it was like Olivia's junior year or something like that, was like when I really came up against a wall. So I had a junior, I had a freshman, and gosh, so Thomas would have been like maybe fourth or fifth grade at the time. I lose track. Like it all runs together now. And I just came to the realization that if I was sick, if I was tired, if I was mentally fried, if I was out of town, because at that time I was traveling, homeschool wasn't happening. It just was not happening because I hadn't built a system. Like I was the system. I was the system. And I felt exhausted, and I really kind of started resenting. This was like when homeschool burnout really hit me a lot. And so I started thinking about it and digging around and coming up with some different ideas. What would it be like to build a homeschool where I was not the bottleneck? I was not the one where everything stopped, right? Where the kids took more ownership, not just because I demanded it, right? But because it was easy for them to do so. Those were some big, big thoughts. And I realized that this was like the part that I was getting wrong. We think independence sometimes is something that kids just magically figure out, right? And that's not the truth. It's not like a moment where there's this big aha moment. They go like, oh yeah, now I get it. Instead, it's a muscle. Independence in your homeschool kid is a muscle. And we build that muscle through intentional habits, through small systems, through a little bit of mentoring and coaching. And it doesn't happen by accident. And it certainly does not happen by nagging, right? There are actually 3 key ingredients that you need to help kids take ownership of their learning without you losing your mind in the process. And exciting news, I am walking you through all 3 of those steps in a brand new workshop that we're going to be doing next Tuesday. So next Tuesday is June 17th. So if you're watching this on Wednesday, if you're watching this on Thursday, and it's before June 17th, you're still in plenty of time. And honestly, if you're watching this on Wednesday the 18th or Thursday the 19th, we're going to have a replay up until the end of the month, until June 27th. So just come and watch it. Come and get the replay. If you like, come and sign up, we'll send you the replay. But if you go to pambarnhill.com/independence, we are going to send you the link. Like that's the link there. You sign up. We'll send you like where to go and watch the thing on the 17th with me live. And then also the replay will be available. So if you can't come and watch it live, you'll be able to watch the replay until the 27th of June. And we'll send you a bunch of emails. Hey, we're about to go live. Here's your workbook. And hey, we went live. Here's the replay, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's called the independence equation. And it is the 3 things that your kids need to be independent. So do you need this? Some of you may be sitting out there going, yep, I 100% need this. I know. Some of you might not be sure, like, could this thing really solve my problems? And so I want to kind of give you a gut check. Are you accidentally building a homeschool that only works if you, mom or dad, if you happen to be a dad watching this, who running at full power? And so I got a few signs for you today to maybe help you figure it out. And here's the first one. Are you the only person who knows the plan in your home? Even if you've got it written down, even if you've got it in your head, even if you've got it in like a fancy planner, are you the only one who knows the plan each and every day in your homeschool. So this was fun. Somebody posted, and I cannot remember who it was. If it was you, speak up. Somebody posted in our online community, and they take the calendar page that I have used year after year after year in my homeschool. I always print it out. I highlight it. I put the days we're gonna be doing school and the days we're not gonna be doing school, and then I tuck it away nice and neatly in my little teacher planner. They post theirs on the wall so their kids know what days they're doing school. And I thought, oh my gosh, that is genius. That is absolutely genius. Why have I never thought of this in all of these years of homeschooling? Because it would just tell my kids, right? Exactly when I'm thinking we're going to be doing school. So, yeah, it's just one of those things of, do your kids know the plan? Are you the only person in your house that knows what's going on? Dawn, was it you who would write on the whiteboard every day, like the things that you were going to do? So yeah, just don't be the only person who knows the plan. The second thing, are your kids always asking, what do I do next? Every single day. Now, they might also be asking, are we going to be doing school today? Which is a completely different problem. And we actually have a class for that. But maybe they know they're doing school, but they're still saying, what am I supposed to do today? What am I supposed to do today? And it's not because they're defiant, right? It's because the system doesn't exist outside of you. So that's number two, right? Number one, who knows the plan? That's your first sign if it's only in your head. And then number two, you might need our workshop if your kids are constantly asking, what do I do next? Right? Next, do you feel more like a bad guy than a coach? Are you constantly feeling like you've got to nag, you've got to remind, you've got to correct, and it's just exhausting and it's not even working? Right? Yes, Jessica, you're the plan, you're the system. Yes. And you don't, like, you're just doing your thing. It's not like you do it on purpose. It's totally not your fault. You're just doing your thing. You're setting it up. It's all great and wonderful. And you wake up one day and you realize, oh my goodness, like, if I'm not here, the whole thing completely falls apart. So if you feel like the bad guy, if you feel like you're nagging and stuff like that, that could be a sign that you might need our workshop. What if you never get through a lesson without being interrupted? Could you imagine what it would feel like to actually sit there and do a lesson with, let's say maybe your 6-year-old, and it's a reading lesson or a spelling lesson, and you just do the whole thing and you look up and you realize that nobody has interrupted you once. Now, if you've got toddlers, yeah, the likelihood of this happening is slim to none, right? But let's say, you're working with that 6-year-old and you have a 9-year-old and an 11-year-old, and you made it through the whole lesson and nobody interrupted you. And the reason nobody interrupted you was because nobody didn't need to know. Nobody didn't need to know. I'm sure that was like a horrible double negative there, but nobody needed to know, like, where things were, where supplies were, like what they were supposed to do next, how long they were supposed to spend on something, if they could stop or not. Like, they know the answer to those questions, and so they don't have to interrupt you. But in order for that to happen, that's one of those independence things that you've got to build. So that was the next one. And then the fifth reason, Dawn, we're on number 5. The fifth reason you might be needing our workshop is you really, really, really feel like you want a break, but then you feel guilty for even thinking that, because if you take a break, they're not going to be able to do anything. You feel like the engine, you feel like the caboose, you feel like the coal inside running the whole thing all at once. And you feel like you could just never stop, because if you do, the whole thing completely goes off the rails. So if any of those sound familiar, I don't want you to think like, oh, I need to try harder, right? Trying hard is what got you to this point to begin with. I know you're trying really, really hard out there because I was in the same place. I think what we need instead is a better foundation. And that's what we're going to be talking about in the independence equation. And it's like completely free to come. We'll give you a little workbook. If you stay to the end, we've got a great free gift for you. I'm just going to go on the record and say I think this is the best stay to the end bonus we have ever done for a workshop. And it's just a little training checklist for different ages, like what different ages can be expected to do and how you get them to that point. And I'm so excited about that. So if you stay to the end of the workshop, we are going to give you a link to download that. That's also absolutely free. We're going to talk about why independence doesn't just happen, how you actually train it step by step. We're going to talk about how to build a plan that supports independence and not stress. And we're going to talk about how to stop micromanaging without everything falling apart. And I know this is something that is probably on your mind and your heart because I tell you what, it's been on mine before. It's going to be next Tuesday, June 17th. Next Tuesday, June 17th at 3 Central. And you can sign up by going to pambarnhill.com/independence. And if you can't come live, sign up anyway and get the replay. And yeah, and I'll be back here next week on Monday. I am going to be back on Monday at 3 p.m. We're trying to make this a habit. So tell your friends. I'll try to get one of the little, so now that I'm learning more about how to do this in YouTube, I'll try to get one of the little placeholders up so it like tells you that I'm going live. I think then you can like hit to be notified or something like that and kind of tell you what the topic's about and all of that stuff. But we'll try to get that one up for you for next week. And I'll be back on Monday, every Monday afternoon at 3 p.m. unless something's crazy is happening. And then we'll let you know ahead of time that I'm not going to be here. And we would love to know what topics would you like for me to talk about? Because we would be very happy to answer your question and talk about any topics that you want to hear about. And you can drop any topic suggestions in the comments, or you can send them to Dawn at info@pambarnhill.com, and she will be sure to let me know about them because that is what she does. All right. I hope I see you here next Monday and the Mondays after that. And I hope I see you at the Independence Equation Workshop at pambarnhill.com/independence. And yeah, I hope you're enjoying your summer. So, all right. Have a great day.